McMillan, to be followed by Richard Leonard. Up to 4 minutes, Mr McMillan.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. First, I want to thank Colette Stevenson for securing this important debate. I know I'm not alone when I say that I didn't get into politics to make things worse. I got into politics to try to make things better for people, and challenging poverty at every opportunity is something that I believe that we should all be doing. And during last year's Challenge Poverty Week, I organised 2 cost-of-living surgeries to raise awareness of the support and advice freely available to people worried about rising bills. And since then, I've organised another 7 such surgeries, and I've another lined up for next month. And as an MSP, I've always strived to be accessible as possible to my constituents, and having these surgeries out with in my office and in the local town centres was key to their success. Now, there was an existing footfall in the Oak Mall shopping centre in Greenock, but also when I had one in Inverclyde Community Development Trust offices in Port Glasgow. So people stopped to engage with the advice agencies in attendance. Now, this included advice to Direct Scotland and Home Energy Scotland, amongst other local partners. Social Security Scotland is now also one of the key agencies that I invite along to the cost-of-living surgeries, which have become a regular feature of my parliamentary duties. This is because I want to ensure that my constituents are receiving all of the assistance that they are entitled to, which to try to help reduce the issue of poverty in the constituency. If we take the Scottish Child Payment as one example of a benefit that is unique to Scotland and worth £25 per week per eligible child, this is benefiting 316,000 children as of the 30th of June this year, and is estimated to have lifted 50,000 children out of relative poverty. This shows that this SNP government is committed to using the powers at its disposal to try to tackle poverty in Scotland, and demonstrates that Scotland can take a different approach to welfare reform. Now, Presiding Officer, just think about how much further we could actually go with more powers, at the very least, or with independence in this Parliament. Because the reality is that the UK Government has presided over a cost-of-living crisis that is hitting our economy harder than our European neighbours. Research shows time and time again that Brexit is one of the driving factors behind this, a policy which is now sadly supported also by the Labour Party. Now, Presiding Officer, the UK Government's continued pursuit of austerity, started by Labour when they were last in power, but now certainly full steam ahead with the Tories, is making people's lives harder, not easier. And the waiting time for universal credit is still far too long and continues to drive people to food banks. And when people do eventually receive a universal credit payment, it does not cover all of the basics. Now, I regularly visit the Inverclyde Food Bank and I support the Trussell Trust's Guarantee the Essentials campaign, which is calling for the basic rate of universal credit to at least cover the cost of essentials like food, household bills and also travel costs. Now, this is because around 90% of low-income households receiving universal credit are going without at least one essential, like food, a warm home or toiletries. Now, this shows that the UK Government policies are contributing to poverty, which is in stark contrast to the efforts of this Parliament and the Government here in Scotland. That we are attempting to tackle poverty in Scotland with one hand tied behind our backs, and sadly with Labour now is also signed up to the 2-child cap, which is working against efforts to lift children out of poverty. It's abundantly clear that we cannot trust the Westminster parties with looking after those most in need. In the run-up to Challenge Poverty Week, I was asked by the Poverty Alliance to write a blog post about my work challenging poverty, and it gave some background about the cost-of-living surgeries I mentioned earlier, but one key point I stressed in the blog, something I want to stress again to everyone listening today, is if you need help, please ask. MSPs and their staff across the country deal with difficult situations daily, and certainly there are folk there who can help. So, Presiding Officer, I'm conscious of my time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.